Hello, Kizomba friends, and welcome to the first episode of Kizomba Conversations for 2025. We really hope you enjoy this conversation and look out for more monthly episodes. Hello, Kizomba enthusiasts, and welcome back to another episode of Kizomba Conversations. As always, I'm your host, Victor, and today we are joined by a phenomenal social dancer, all-round nice guy, and a joy to watch on the dance floor. So let's welcome Charley to the podcast. Charley, how are you?
I am incredible. Yeah. I'm peaceful, in a blissful state, and in good company.
Fantastic. And incredible is a great word.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're really happy to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
No, we're really happy to have you, and we're really looking forward to getting involved into your conversation. Yeah?
Sounds great.
Good. Well, as you know then, Charley, you've been dancing for a while, and I know that you've seen some of the episodes before.
Yeah.
So the first question that we always want to start with, and that is a bit about who is Charley. And this is before Kizomba. So anything you want to share with us that we don't know about you or people don't know about you, what can you tell us about yourself?
I'm someone who likes to explore. I think that's the overall statement. Exploring places, exploring people, exploring myself. And I had a childhood that involved doing lots of different activities. Started with martial arts, doing extreme sports like skateboarding, rock climbing, things like that. Enjoying company with people my age and people 10 years older than me, 15, 20 years, sometimes even people that are 40 years older than me. So I've been able to fulfill that desire of connection from a young age all the way up until now. And I think that's something that has made me stick in the Kizomba scene and community for so long and so intensely as well.
Wow, fantastic. Picking up on what you said then, because you said you like to explore. Okay, so you went through a range of things there. You're quite active.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite active.
More in my past. I think since I started the Kizomba dancing, it's taken over. It's still active.
Yeah.
But it's not quite the extreme intensity that I used to go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how did you explore Kizomba? How did that come into your life in your explorations?
Okay. I think as it does with a lot of people, my dance exploration started with salsa.
Yes.
And it started with Cuban salsa. So when I was about 15 years old, I saw the film Cuban Fury and fell in love with the music, with the energy that people seem to be given by this, and the way that people moved as well. And so I said to myself, I need to do that. And it took me about 2 years to actually get into it. But I called up a local salsa club in my hometown of Bexley Heath.
Bexley Heath?
Yeah. And ended up going along to Jose de la Torre's, his salsa club for Cuban salsa. And it was all about just fun and dancing, not focusing on learning steps and patterns. He would dance and we would try and copy what he was doing. And yeah, it was great. 2 hours of smiling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Like a lot of people, we always say it, come from salsa, start off with the salsa. So with salsa then, what specifically got you? What, I know you mentioned it just now, but what when you looked at it, what was it like, ooh, I need to do that?
It was the smiles.
The smiles. Okay.
Yeah, the smiles. And initially when I started to see it, it was seeing people smiling. And then when I did it for the first time, I remember my cheeks hurting the following morning.
Yeah.
From how much joy it brought me. Fantastic. And that then ended up developing. So I did just Cuban salsa for about 1.5 years, and then started doing crossbody salsa as well. And that's actually how I ended up finding Kizomba.
Okay.
Because maybe for 4 or 6 months before the lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
That Crossbody Salsa Club was doing taster sessions for like a 4-week rotation. They would do 20 minutes before the salsa classes on Kizomba, on bachata, on cha-cha-cha, and a couple other things as well. So Massimo Mazzoca was my salsa teacher, and then, in a sense, my first Kizomba teacher as well, because he was the person that introduced me to it. And again, like with a lot of people, Ghetto Zouk was the music that I was hearing first. I didn't know it at the time.
Yep.
But now, whenever I hear these songs, every now and then on a dance floor, it takes me back, 4 or 5 years, and it puts me on those dance floors in Dartford where there was Ghetto Zouk playing.
Yeah. So okay, Dartford. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the next point on that pushed it even further for me, it gave me a new feeling. There was a festival in Folkestone, Grand Dance Weekend. I'm not sure if it still runs or not. Okay. I hope it does.
Okay.
But it was an SBK festival. First festival I did.
For those that don't know SBK, what does that mean? Acronym?
Salsa, Bachata, Kizomba.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm putting a petition in to put the K first.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
And went along to this festival, and I saw Jay Dixon and his feet moving as he danced Semba.
Okay.
And the music got me, the smiles got me, the movements got me. And so I remember when I saw his dancing, I said, this is what I need to be doing. It was exactly the same as the first time I saw salsa, but elevated completely. So
elevated.
Yeah. And then, of course, the world locked down a week later. And so a passion started to bubble inside of me. And then it was just, there was always more opportunity for exploration, more things that would be revealing themselves about Kizomba. So all of that really started after lockdown at the Tropical Summer Festival in Plymouth, which again is SBK. But I saw for the first time some of the teachers from London. So Richard Voot and Louisa, they were teaching at the time, and Manon Batrel and Rico Suave. So they were teaching at this festival. And I didn't even realize that Kizomba was something that you could do at regular classes. I thought it was something that was taught at festivals. So I ended up going to Richard's classes, and that's where everything started. And chocolate Kizomba with Shay, and Saeed's events at Visio on the Saturdays, keeping me up until 5 in the morning in Brixton.
These are places away in London that are on the scene. All right, great, Charlie, great. Tell me how it was when the first Kizomba lesson you had. Can you remember the feeling of that?
So for me, I'll mark out the first Kizomba lesson that I had as my lesson with Josie.
Josie Semkes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in Bar Salsa Temple. Yeah. Because it was the first of these regular classes that I was doing. It wasn't something where I'm going to a festival and there were advanced tricks and things like that being taught. It was just beginner's class with Josie. Fundamentals with an expert on fundamentals. And it was fun. It was fun. It was new, and I had total opportunity to ask all the questions that I needed to. And I got to enjoy meeting new people and moving in a way that I hadn't done before, and just laughing continuously, because the way that Josie teaches, she just puts a smile on your face.
I was about to say, if there's one word we can describe Josie as, is absolute fun. Shout out to Josie. You're coming on the podcast soon. But anyway, that's another thing.
Amazing.
Well,
That's
she doesn't
good.
know that yet, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give her a poke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, absolutely. So fun, and that's just what kept you, spurred you on to keep coming back and doing more. Yeah, after that first.
Yeah,
that first one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was Monday night classes, and I would do Josie's Semba class, and then immediately after Mikumba Williams and Shaina Khalili's Kizomba class.
Okay.
And it was so much fun, and the socials immediately after, just as much, taking me, to midnight or past midnight, where I'd then have to get a night bus an hour and a half home afterwards to then start work at 8 in the morning. And I did it every single week.
It's worth it, right?
I couldn't stop myself.
It's worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
No, that's great. And so you were blessed to have some really good people there. So you mentioned Josie, you mentioned Shaina, and some other people that you mentioned there as well. So that's really good in terms of your development. So in terms of your development, since you've started Kizomba, how has your journey been in terms of your dancing? How has it evolved over the years to where you are now?
I think that initially there was more focus on the steps that were being taught in the classes. My background is in music.
Okay.
And I grew up playing, not professionally or anything like that, but I grew up playing the drums, playing the guitar and singing. And so...
You say singing? Okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
I've irritated my parents quite a lot in the shower.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's good fun. But having that background meant I resonated more with Kizomba and Semba than I did with Salsa, because there was more freedom to move. In these pasada dances where you're walking through the dance, you can choose how to dance far more, in at least my understanding at the moment. I imagine that if I took Salsa all the way up, then people would say you can dance Salsa in any way you want. Because it's dance. It's a way of expressing yourself. And so I think that actually is how my dancing has changed over the past 3.5 years. I've gone from being more focused on the steps to being focused on the connection with the music, the connection with the partner, and then with myself as well. And trying to have as much fun in the moment, to take out any kind of rules that have been placed on the dance, and just go onto the dance floor and just try and share joy with that person that I'm dancing with in the moment, and just really feel as much as possible.
Yeah, because this dance is all about feeling, isn't it? And we'll come back to that in a moment. But I want to find out from you. So for someone who's picked it up so well,
Thank you.
Picked it up very well indeed, what were the components that helped you pick it up so well? Can you pinpoint anything?
I think what allowed me to pick it up quicker was having such a focus on the beginners classes and really wanting to be confident in understanding what it was that I'm doing, to make sure that I'm doing it right, to take my time with things, but then also to try and be as reflective as possible. So in the classes, I would be asking the followers how things felt.
Wow, yeah.
If I was doing it right, or I'd even be asking people, because I'd watch other leads, and I would ask the followers what was different between mine and his lead in the dances. And then as well, during the social dances, I would, firstly, for the parties, I would stay from the start till the finish, and I would be non-stop dancing. I'd dance with every single person that was there. I'd do 2, 3, 4 songs with people, and then say thank you very much for the dance.
So you're the lights on guy when the club finishes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one that they're sweeping at your feet with the mops.
Exactly.
And then you
Get the hell out of here, Charlie.
You bring it into the dance as well. But it would just be trying to take as much time as I could to enjoy the dancing. And I would ask for feedback as well. At the end of a social dance, if it was someone that I'd not met before, or if it was someone that I regularly danced with, doesn't matter who it was, I would ask, what was good about the dance? What did you enjoy, and what could I have done to make it better? And genuinely listen as well, and try and take that feedback on. And I think that gave me a good foundation. And then more recently, it's been a case of internal reflection. Is how do I feel? So everything is changing to how do I feel? And I think that's something that when you become more advanced in anything, you're able to switch your feedback systems from being external to being more internal. So my external feedback systems for myself used to be, if someone recorded me dancing, or if I asked someone to record me dancing, I would look at the things that I was doing. So something that I used to do was, I put my hand on the follow's back, but my hand would be spread out. And so I didn't like the way that looked. So I relaxed my hand, and it's something that I realized I was being tense in the dance.
Yeah.
And that was an expression of it, but a subconscious expression of that tension. So relaxing my hand, that was one thing. But now those feedback systems are more internal. It's based on how do I feel in the dance. And it's either switched on, or if I'm in total bliss, then, I'm just free flying. But there are chances where, with a dance partner, or if I'm doing some sort of training, that I switch on the feedback systems and really try and focus on what are we all feeling here.
I absolutely love it. I love the fact that you can reflect. Not everybody can. And I love the fact that, you watch yourself, and that example of the hand. I'm a big fan of, but I enjoy the fact that, watching yourself, because you learn so much. People don't get this. Some of my friends, when I go out, take a video record of me dancing, please. And it's because I want to see what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, or what I should be doing. And then adjust it. And it just helps you so much. So really interesting to hear that. Also, you talked about the fact that you focus on the basics. Okay. Not a lot of people can do that because they don't want to do that, because they want to go straight to the end, right?
Yes.
So it's great to hear that. And also, how long was it for you, roughly? Did you stay before you thought, you know what, let me move on, or I'm a bit comfortable now?
I remember the moment that I got kicked out of the beginners class by Josie.
Okay, cool.
Because she said to me, I have nothing more to teach you in this class. Because I'd already tried to negotiate staying in that class with her. And that was her immediate feedback. So it was 6 months. 6 months of doing the beginners class, which was actually what was the suggested time. So in Richard's school, it was the RV dance. It was 6 months at beginners, and then I believe up to a year and a half was the intermediates, and then a year and a half or 2 years and above was the advanced classes. And I would often see people doing, 3 weeks at beginners and then moving up. And some people would start at the advanced class and then quickly realize it wasn't for them, and then jump straight back down. I find that often we don't want to hurt ourselves. And so the approach that we might find ourselves taking is overestimating what we're capable of, and as a result, not actually getting out all of the benefit that we could do. And taking a more humbled approach of, I don't know what I'm doing, and there's so much for me to learn in this, allows you to take the criticism, because you have low expectations of what your abilities might be. And so you don't get hurt when you don't get things right. But a lot of the time we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to say, I should be getting this right. But there's no reason for that. If something's totally brand new to you, or even if you've been doing something for a week, a month, a year, whatever, and you make a mistake, it's not a problem. It's just a case of, what can you do to reflect?
And learn. So, 6 months, very precise. All right. So great background in terms of salsa, kizomba, your length of time in it. And I'm just mentioning those two because I want to find out what makes kizomba for you different compared to. Is it just salsa you did before kizomba, or is it?
I had a small amount of experience with bachata.
Okay, yeah.
More on the sensual side.
Yeah.
After I started kizomba, I also did a bit of Dominican bachata as well with Brandy Colores. I'm hoping I remember his name right.
Okay. I know him.
And so the biggest difference for me with the salsa and the kizomba was the freedom of movement that I had. In the classes, even though everything was very much, a four walls approach, which I find is more, if my understanding is right, and again, maybe the experts will hate me on this one, but it's more of the urban kids way of doing things. Okay. The four walls, where you end up facing in a particular direction because the way that they dance is more precise. Yeah. I liked the freedom that was available in kizomba, because you can move in any direction you want. You can be turning any amount that you want. In salsa, the way that we were taught it was you have those certain fixed steps. You have your salsa basics, which I really enjoy. Whenever I dance salsa, you get in that sort of trance state because you're doing those particular steps. Mm-hmm. But I like the complete freedom to feel the music in kizomba. You can move any direction you want. You can slow the steps down when the singer slows their voice, or you start moving more energetically when the song picks up. Mm-hmm. It's enjoyable for me having that freedom to be able to allow the music to resonate within me and express that resonation outwards.
That's great. That's great. So you mentioned there the freedom. Mm-hmm. So I did salsa before I came to kizomba, but I couldn't do Cuban. Okay, I'm not going to say I couldn't do. I found it challenging.
Yes.
to do. I could do crossbody.
Yeah.
And in crossbody, I can see the rules that you're talking about. Mm. So is it the same in Cuban then, in terms of the freedom? See what I mean?
I don't know if my understanding of Cuban is good enough to answer the question. But I would say when I look at the Cuban dance floor compared to looking at the crossbody dance floor, I see people moving more freely, responding more to the music.
Yeah, sorry. So let me base my question. So what I'm trying to say is that, so you're comparing kizomba, freedom.
Yes. Yeah.
Would that be compared to Cuban as opposed to?
In my experience.
Yes, exactly.
I would say because I only did the Cuban salsa at a low level.
Okay.
I never went particularly advanced with it. Yeah. Maybe not even intermediate.
Okay.
But maybe because of that,
I
still felt restricted in the dances. Yeah.
Interesting.
Just because my knowledge wasn't good enough. Yeah. But what I do know is after stopping salsa for about a year to get addicted to kizomba dancing, when I came back and danced it at, I believe actually Plymouth the following year was the first time I danced salsa properly for quite a long time after starting kizomba. Making that change of having, a feeling of the music and confidence in my lead, my salsa dancing hugely improved
as well.
Even though I hadn't touched salsa for months and months.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Must be something with the music and being tuned. Okay, cool. No, fantastic. Just great to hear. And then also, if I'm not mistaken, you're teaching, right, Kizomba? Talk to us, Charlie.
Okay. So, I'm starting to share the experiences and the understandings that I have. Okay. Yes. I don't know if I would label it teaching. Okay. I quite enjoy the use of the word coaching.
Okay.
With the difference being, a dance is something that is personal. The reasons for people going to dancing are personal, and the experience that I would want people to have on the dance floor is come here and enjoy it in the way that you want to.
Yep, love it.
And so I hugely appreciate all of the work that all teachers are doing. And I always find that, people will pick which teachers they want to go to based on how those teachers dance. And often it's a case of you see an amazing dancer and you go, I want to dance like them. And so for me, what I would rather have people say is they see my dancing and they go, I want to have as much fun as he is. And
they see that, Charlie. But anyway, yeah, carry on.
So I don't want to prescribe how people should look when they're dancing. Mm-hmm. But what I do want is to help people with connection and understanding how to connect, because I find having a background in formal teaching with the school education system and even a professional background as well, doing accounting and things. So I've had the experience of not being able to do something for the feeling of it. It's because these are the rote instructions that you have and you have to follow them, and there's this certain objective at the end to be able to achieve. And I think sometimes maybe people need to have a place where they can unlearn how to follow the instructions. Yeah. And that's what I like the idea of doing. Yeah. So through that, the ideas are teaching people how to connect back to themselves, how to connect to the music that's being played in the dance venues that they go to, or even in the kitchen when they're dancing and, loading the dishwasher.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a lot of my experience. And also how to connect to the person in front of them, because it's a very, very disconnected world that we can end up living in. Yeah. So opportunity to find out how people do that, opportunity to have discussions in classes on how to do that. And that's how my compa dance partner, Jessica Larby, and I took our compa workshops when we were over in Zurich. Yeah. It was a discussion of, I'm not teaching you this information. I love how Jessica phrased it. She said, we're helping to remind you of what you already know. Yes. You watch a baby listening to music and they rock to the song. And when they're rocking more in time, they're having a more joyful experience. There's a bigger smile on their face. Yeah. And so dance is something that's natural to us. And we know how to dance. But then all of the knowledge and the understanding gets blocked because you get told, sit in that stacking chair.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, great answer. So would you want to explore teaching down the line, as in teaching? Or is that not something that's on your
radar? I would carry on with the same approach that I'm doing. Yeah. But I'd be open to doing regular classes. Yeah. It's something that I would really enjoy doing, especially because there are certain styles of music that I really enjoy, that really resonate with me. And where the dance scene is something, especially up in London, the venues cost so much money. So there has to be a way of bringing in everyone to the venues. And so sometimes more commercial music might get played. And for me, the style of music that I like is soulful, where that people that have made the music are making it purely because they love it. Yep. And some of the music that really resonates for me is music from Guinea-Bissau. And I remember the first time I heard music from Guinea-Bissau was watching Ibra Sani and Jennifer Palermo on Instagram. A reel came up of them dancing to Dada by Eva and Ishi. And I commented straight away on the video and I said, I love the simplicity of your dancing and the connection, and I love the song. I can't find it It's not coming up on any sort of song searches. Can you send me the name? So he did, and it's, for me, I know I'm taking away from the question here, so
go for it.
you have to bring me back onto the question as well. For me, the idea of running classes actually should be a case of, as a person who enjoys this, is someone passionate about it, what aspect, what reflection of the scene that I've seen do I want to show to other people?
Yeah.
And so I would more than happily do it, but it would be very much doing it my way. And it wouldn't be about getting the most people coming along, or making it possible to sustain a living from it. It would just be, I'd love a happy place that I can go to, where I can say to other people, come and experience this.
For the passion, for the joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we want to hear, right? That's exactly what we want to hear. Okay. No, that's great. And thank you for sharing, Charlie. So I want to move on and talk to you more then about this word. And that word is connection. All right? Word that you love and a word that's so important in Kizomba. But the first thing I want to find out is, with connection, when you're dancing with someone, if you don't have that connection, if you don't have it, because you don't always dance with people the same way. So
every dance is different. Yeah,
absolutely. And you can have a better connection with somebody else and you can have with someone else. It's just all different. So the question I'm just trying to figure out is, if you don't get that connection with someone, let's say you're out and you don't get that connection, you've danced with someone, would you still try to go back to that person as many times as you can until you get it? Or is it just a case of, I've tried this so many times. Yes, we see each other, we dance. This is not working. Yeah. Do you see the question? I'm just trying to figure it out. What do you do there?
Okay, so I think for me, there are a couple answers to it. One is, why is the connection not coming about? And there's always a way that you can connect with someone. I don't look for the same connection with every person. I have an analogy on dancing and dance venues as being ice cream shops.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, Victor?
Oh, I'm going to be really boring, man. Really boring.
There's no judgment here.
Yeah, I'm just going to go boring and just say vanilla.
You make a good choice.
Okay.
I hold 100% respect for it.
Okay.
So, when you go to the ice cream shop, do you always order vanilla ice cream?
Not always.
Okay. Do you sample other things as well?
100%.
Good. I'm glad. Because you get to experience more of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, more of the ice cream shop.
Yes.
Okay. That's how I believe we should do things. We have our favorite thing, but we also go to places and we allow ourselves to sample other things because those things might be good for us.
Yep.
And I feel like on the dance floor, we often don't do that. We go into it with approach of, this is how I dance. And it's not even a conscious thing. It's just, this is how I dance. So I'm going to go onto the dance floor and I'm going to dance in my way. And I find that, in a sense, leaders always eat their favorite flavor of ice cream. And followers never get the chance to eat their favorite flavor.
Oh my God.
Okay. Because, and this is in the extreme example of it.
Yeah.
Where as leads, we have control over how that dance can go. Mm-hmm. And we also have the ability to control how much we are leading the follower compared to controlling the follower in the dance. And there are big elements of trust that go on there. The more freedom you give the other person to enjoy the dance for themselves, the more trust you're showing them
Yeah.
in that dance. And so if a leader was to go onto the dance floor, hold the follower tight, take her in every place that he wants to, and move his body in the way that he wants to as well, he's only eating his flavor of ice cream. And the follower could not be there, and it wouldn't make a difference to his dance. That follower has a certain way, natural movement, certain way that she wants to naturally move. And by dancing with that type of lead, who is only ever going to eat his favorite flavor of ice cream, she never gets a chance to eat her favorite flavor, to move in the way that her body naturally does. He or she, because I lead and follow, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so for me, I find it so important to engage in the interaction that you're having and see it as an opportunity to sample someone else's flavor. So I don't go in expecting the connection to be, the most amazing thing possible. But what I try and do is to make it as good as it can be.
Yeah.
And connection isn't just a case of being like that, pressed up against the other person. There's an energy to it. You have physical connection, emotional, spiritual, all sorts of different things. And so I've had dances in the past where I've been connected with people just in a big, wide open frame because that's all they've been comfortable with. But actually, they've been so present in that dance that spiritually, I feel completely connected with them.
Yeah. And
so I enjoy the challenge of dancing with different people. And two, I enjoy the different connections that can come about. So, if I had a dance where I didn't feel like I connected well with that person, I'd reflect and I think, what can I do to improve it? And I do during the dance as well. I go, how can I improve this dance? I've got a good friend called Sarah from Germany. And I remember our first dance. We started in a connection that was, on her part, an open embrace, very big space between the two of us. So during that dance, I signaled that I wanted to be closer by doing moves that would draw us closer to each other, so that I was saying, there's no need to worry here. It's a safe connection, safe space. But then I would release my frame so that she had the ability to then choose to come in closer if she wanted to. And now she's one of my closest friends. Yeah. And the way that we dance is completely connected. So reflection is a good thing, but then also changing expectations of what it means to connect is important as well, and not judging someone if they want to be spaced out.
Yeah. No. Great. Great. Let's unpack this further, right? Let's go deep.
Okay.
All right. So
all the way to the bottom of the ice cream now.
Yeah. What's your flavor, people? But anyway, let's go deep. So connection then, right? So important. And, in terms of connection, when I see you dance, if somebody has come in that night heavy, they're leaving light. They're leaving lighter than a feather, because they just, I don't want to use the word surrender because nobody surrenders, but they just feel at ease.
I think it is a surrender.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But from
surrendered to
it can be from the lead and the follow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they feel light. And I don't mean to embarrass you because I see it. Oh, Charlie's here. Wait for Charlie. And then they're dancing, and it's like they're gone. They're gone. Seen it so many times, right?
I don't get to see any.
You don't
of
get
this.
to see that.
No,
Trust
but
me.
the faces are
They're
there.
They're there. You know who you are. They love dancing with Charlie, right? So I guess what I'm trying to find out, and why I'm focusing on connection, is because I'm just trying to get for people to understand this dance is about connection. It's about feeling, and how to get that, because not everybody can get that. So it's a case of just thinking about or asking you, what are you doing in that moment to make them feel like that? You just explained it a little bit there. But is there any tips that you can give to anyone, who's trying to improve their connection at all? Because I'll be honest, man, I'm out sometimes. I see you, I'm waiting for Charlie. I want to dance with Charlie. You know what I mean? I want to feel like.
Dance with me if you want.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Anyone can ask me for a dance.
The
I don't
girl's
mind.
just like, so talk to us. I don't want to embarrass you, right? But
No,
that's basically what it is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah.
I don't think I should be embarrassed.
Okay,
by that.
cool.
That's
cool,
quite
cool.
a nice thing to have
Cool.
said.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do I do to improve the connection?
Yeah.
Okay. Make the dance about them.
Yeah.
Make the dance about that person's experience. And my brother said something to me, not about dancing, but about friendships and interactions 5, 6, 7 years back on winning the battle, but not winning the war. Where sometimes there might be a political conversation that comes up and someone will be so passionate about what they have, what their views are on that political topic, that they then beat their friend down and they win the battle of that conversation. But actually then the friendship is tarnished.
Yes.
And that friend then thinks, well, maybe I don't really want to meet that person again. And I think it's a case of you should aim to win the war, so to speak, is by acting in a way that allows you to have the best interaction possible that will lead to another interaction. You get more opportunity to improve connecting with that person. And so focusing just on that, can we make this happen again and again, just by being soft with each other and not trying to overstep our boundary, the other person's boundaries, because everyone has their boundaries.
100%,
and it's not like you go into the dance and you say to someone, okay, I'd like to dance and I'm comfortable connecting with my chest and my feet, kind of thing. No one does that. Almost all of it is non-verbal communication that's going on. So a lot of attention has to be paid to what are the person's boundaries that I am working with, and am I communicating mine? Am I communicating my boundaries, and am I communicating my desires in the dance? So like the first dance I had with Sarah, I understood her boundaries because she had a solid frame, but I also then did little things in the dance that allowed me to communicate to her, I'd like to be closer here. And those signals were received, and she didn't feel that I was overstepping her boundaries because I'd toe the line, and then I'd allow her to move the line herself instead. So just that respect, I think, is a big thing. It's such a huge topic.
It is. I wanted to touch on it lightly, and I think I've got my answer there. Well, I have got my answer there. So it's just really about, the respect, the boundaries, and just, I guess, inviting, isn't it, at the appropriate times when you're in that moment, basically, to make that person feel relaxed and trusted. And then that leads on to my next question, because connection is so important, right? And having all these things is important. But then, some people who don't know too much about Kizomba would see it, and they think, what are they doing? It's a little bit close, or whatever it might be, depending on who they're watching dance, right? But Kizomba come under that umbrella, right? So, are there any misconceptions that you've heard in your time of dancing? All right.
What an amazing question.
We don't have to go crazy deep, but what's some of the misconceptions that you have come across, Charlie, about Kizomba to educate people?
Okay. I was having a conversation with a new friend of mine who she started dancing Kizomba about 1.5 years ago. But over that time, she's heard something that I also heard going on when, I've gone to different places, festivals, classes, whatever. The 3-song rule.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, the 3-song rule is I'm going to dance 3 songs because I want to try and dance a good amount. I want to have good opportunity in connecting with this person. But then I also want to have good opportunity connecting with everyone else that's in this room, because what an amazing thing that is to be able to dance with 20, 30, 40 people in one night. And for a lot of other people, the message that's been put forward on this 3-song rule is, if someone dances more than 3 songs with you, it means that they have more interest. Another misconception that goes to the same place is, if someone puts their hand on your neck, it means that they want the dance to go somewhere else, or they want that interaction, that relationship to go somewhere else. I feel things are oversimplified far too much, because we're humans. We're very, very complex, and we're all different. And so, I went to Zouk Love London, and in that dance class, they said you can connect through having your, hands on the back, hands on the shoulders, or you can even put your hand on the neck if you want a really close dance. And I thought that was amazing. You're telling people that this connection, this hand on the back of the neck, is if you want to have a close dance. And for me, that's all it is. Is you're going to these places, you're sharing moments, you're having a dance with someone. At the end of it, you say, thank you very much for the dance. And that's a clear signal of all of that we just had. That close intimacy with another person was in the safe space of a dance. And I find that it requires a lot of emotional intelligence
100%.
and a lot of emotional resilience as well, because if someone is being intimate with you and you want more than that with them, you want it to go somewhere, having to remind yourself, okay, this is just a dance, and allowing yourself not to be hurt by someone else's intentions of being different to you, takes a lot of emotional resilience and a lot of emotional intelligence. And I find that the misconceptions, these simple rules, that this means that's what causes problems between people.
No, absolutely. Great. Yep. And great answer again.
Oh, thank you.
And again, we could talk a long time about that, but I think that's great the way you articulated that in terms of some of the misconceptions. So people can hear, especially new people, watching it and looking at it. It's different because not everybody dances like us. And, they'll go out to their clubs or whatever it might be. And they'll be thinking, how are these people dancing so close with each other? What are they doing? Right? And, people have all different kind of things in their mind, isn't it? So it's just interesting to hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So in terms of your personal journey, what has Kizomba taught you about yourself?
There's one really specific answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
And again, one of my closest friends has had involvement with this. When I first started dancing Kizomba, I enjoyed a class that I had the ability to go on the dance floor and show. This sort of like upright stance and just a classy nature.
Oh, okay.
It was an opportunity where I could go to these places and enjoy that persona.
Okay.
But then it also ended up creating a bit of an identity crisis, where I've got the Charlie that I've been for so long. I have this Charlie that I'm also wanting to have, but going to these dance venues, I'm not allowing the two things to connect. And I have another analogy, and this is the specific answer, of the toothbrush version of yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have toothbrush Charlie, you have toothbrush Victor.
Okay.
And the reason this came about was I had a conversation with this friend and said that I'm feeling uncomfortable. When I go to these dance events, I don't feel like me. And I don't feel like I can freely dance and let myself move. I'm restricted, and it especially came about when there were different genres of music being played that weren't couples dancing.
Okay.
Like you have the kuduro, the Afro house, Afro beats, whatever it might be. These songs would get played, and I just wanted to dance to them. I didn't want there to be there's this strict way that you have to do things. It's just I want to go and express. It's this idea of the toothbrush version of ourselves. As you're standing there in your bathroom or toilet on your own, brushing your teeth in front of the mirror, no one else is around. And so you can be anything. And allowing yourself to be anything means you're allowing yourself to be you. And you put some music on in the bathroom and you move around like a total idiot. And you don't feel judgment from anyone because it's just you that's in there. And so I wanted Toothbrush Charley to come out on the dance floor. And I feel like that growth has come about. I go onto these dance floors now and I don't mind being silly and expressing myself in the way that I want to, and disconnecting from the dance and just dancing on my own, and watching the other person enjoy dancing on their own as well. You'll have to remind me the wording of your question because I want to come back.
It's fine. So it's basically about you. What's Kizomba taught you about yourself? Yeah, that's what the question was.
Okay, so it's then taught me I don't want to judge myself. I don't want to judge others. And I want to be free to play and express in the way that resonates with me in that moment, rather than doing something that's prescribed by someone else as the right way to do things.
Love it. How has it felt? Okay, what was the first time feeling the toothbrush, Charlie? How was that? How did that feel the first time?
The first time was nerve-wracking. Yeah, and I remember it. I was at an after party at So We Kiz, and it must have been about 10 in the morning because I forced the after parties to keep on going. Omar, I know you hate me.
Wow.
But in this after party, this friend was here, and she asked me to dance, but we didn't dance together. We were dancing separate, and she's an absolutely incredible dancer. So I was just enjoying watching her dance, but I let myself go as well. I felt that I could be vulnerable in her presence. So everyone else was around, and I wasn't with them. I was just with this friend. And she gave me the space, gave me the safety to express myself. And that was the first little hurdle of allowing the toothbrush to come out.
There's a lot of toothbrushes, I think, that need to come out.
I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of dirty teeth. Yeah.
Easy, Charlie. No, but no, absolutely.
I haven't seen any.
No, I think this goes down to expression, people's personalities as well sometimes, and some people are more expressive and some people aren't. So for those who aren't, then I think that's a good analogy. And just let it go. At the end of the day, it's dance, and that's what we're there for, right?
Yeah.
Just to have fun. So that's what it's about. Okay, so what's next in your Kizomba journey, Charlie?
There's a very, very big thing next.
Yes. Okay.
In just under a week's time, I go to Portugal. I'm going there for 2 weeks to work on my Portuguese a bit more, because at the moment I only speak a little bit. And that's to prepare me to go to Angola. And I'll be there for 3 weeks on the Kurisanga tour with Carlos and Anna.
Wow.
And countless other people who are going to explore the roots.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm using that opportunity in several ways. It's to go and hear different music, because I know the DJs out there are playing songs made by locals that don't make it over to Europe. So I cannot wait to hear the fresh sounds. I'm going to use it to make my feet break
Okay.
and force myself to buy some new pairs of shoes
Okay.
because of how much dancing that I'll do.
Yeah.
But I'm also hoping to use the opportunity to ask a lot of questions that I have about what the dance is and what it used to be and why people dance.
That sounds really, really exciting.
Mm.
Really, really exciting. And you say that you're there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Jealous of you because you're going to be in some good weather as well.
Well, yeah, I know. But you'll have the great English weather of, rain and bitter cold.
Cheers. But no, and just the fact that, it's Angola, isn't it? And, well, you're definitely going to be danced out by the time you get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no. So really, 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 really enjoy that one, Charlie. Really, really enjoy it. Couple more things just before we wrap up. Just a couple of things.
Thank you.
You've kind of done it already, but can you give some advice to leaders and followers? Just one piece of advice to improve leading and improve following ability for those people.
Yes. And I'll do it through the ideas of masculine and feminine roles. And this is my views on masculine and feminine roles, purely based on, again, feeling. So the definitions that I give, being masculine, being feminine. Being masculine is creating a safe space where the feminine is able to confidently express themselves. And being feminine is creating confidence for the masculine to be able to fully express themselves. And the reason that I say masculine and feminine, not man and woman in any part of that, is because we all have masculine and feminine within us. And there's almost a spectrum of positions that you could fall within that. And the ability to tap into your masculinity and your femininity in any situation allows you to improve your interaction with that, especially when it's two people that are involved. So part of what I did in the Compa workshop was to lead and follow and demonstrate that for everyone.
Yeah.
And ask them to see, how does my face, how does my way of moving change as I change between these two roles? And one of the participants said he felt that when I was following, the aura that I gave off was that of someone in a blissful state. And when I was leading, it was more focused, in a sense. And that was his perception of it. I would say in both positions, I felt very, very blissful. But there was a clear change in my energy in that situation. And so my advice for leaders is create a safe space so that follower can express himself without having to think about, am I being held too tight? Or am I going to get bumped into that couple next to me? Or am I going to get dipped by someone that has been taught in a way that doesn't work with me? And for the follows, my advice would be, give your leader as much confidence as possible. Because by giving a leader confidence, you tell them, doesn't matter where you take me, doesn't matter how you take me there, I know that you're going to do the right thing with me, and I know that you're going to allow us both to have the best time possible. That would be my advice.
Fantastic advice, people. You heard it here, as always. But no, I think it's great advice. I mean, for both of them. But obviously, I'm going to hone in on the leading part, because obviously that's what I do more of.
Yeah.
But when you can do both, I think that's where mastery comes into play, because you've got both sides, and I know you do both. Hence the reason why I asked you the question about giving advice for that. So, and it's interesting to hear what that guy said about what he sees and when you change, because you're central, you're in a blissful state for both of them, right?
Yeah.
But then that's coming across from different people. So, really, really powerful stuff. So, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you for asking,
Charlie. anyone who's curious about Kizomba but hasn't taken a plunge, what are you going to say?
Do it.
End of story. Just do it.
Well, do it, but just make sure that you have a stable income ahead of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just mean even dancing, just as in because.
Well, no, just because your wallet will not thank you for spending so much money on the addiction that you have to fuel. Okay. I think it's a common story.
No, I get it. Yeah, wanted to go out. We didn't even touch on festivals, but yeah,
oh,
that's all. We have to
don't remind me.
Yeah, but no. All right, Charlie. So where can we find you? Where can we look at your dancing or just see you in general?
Yeah, sure. On Instagram, it's probably the best place, I would say. Beatbox Buddha is the Instagram handle, because that was my PlayStation account when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
And it's stuck
Beatbox Buddha. Okay.
all the way through 14 years later. Okay. So yeah, that's the best place to find me. But other than that, find me on the dance floor. But I can't tell you which one because it's always changing.
100%. I love it. Find you on the dance floor. Yeah. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Great, really great talking to you and talking about connection and those things. So thank you for coming on. And obviously, this is the first time you're going to be coming back anyway. So I know that for a fact.
I appreciate that
100%. But we always finish off with some fun questions.
Yes, I was looking forward to these.
Looking forward to those. All right.
Presented on the table the whole time.
So you've got 3 cards there, my friend. So the idea is you pick one, read it, and then answer it. So which one you want to pick?
Tempted to play Ip Dip Do, but
I'm
just going to go.
Yeah. So what's it say?
It says, would you rather... Oh, goodness me. Oh, okay. Would you rather go a month without dancing or a month without listening to music?
That's a hard question.
Okay. I think I would rather go a month without listening to music, because most of the songs I know in my mind, they play all the time. But also, for me, in fact, no, I'm going to change my answer. I was going to say things are about movement for me and the ability to freely move in my body. But Jessica told me that I need to get back into doing yoga because I keep on complaining that I don't move enough. So actually, I'll get my movement through yoga and I'll listen to my songs on the sofa.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just to be clear, what you're gonna do? Which one?
I will go a month without dancing.
Wow. Okay.
Very tough.
Very, very tough.
Very tough
That was
indeed.
a tough question. Especially made. But anyway, what's your next one?
You're evil. Okay. Far reach. Okay. If Kizomba had a superhero superpower, what would you choose? Teleportation, mind control, stopping time. Oh. I like the idea of stopping time because it means I can get caught in that moment.
Nice.
However, I find that being in a journey and appreciating things as they come and go is very important. I wouldn't like mind control because it would prevent me from having the experience with the other person. And it takes them away from being in it and it makes it all about me again.
No connection. Yeah.
I like the idea of teleportation because my flight fees are getting really expensive as I keep on going to international festivals. So teleportation it is.
That's a great answer. Lovely. So I would have chosen teleportation. It's only because mine's a bit weird. So only because, right? Only because, sometimes we have events and they're all on at the same time. So you'll have a night where you'll have the same event, right? So I'd be like, okay, right. I'm here. Let me go over there, see what's going on. So I'll just go there and go there, then go there. Do you see what I mean? So that's the reason why I would choose.
I was tempted to do it tonight because I know that there's like 4 events on tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So where do you go?
Yeah, but I actually have a second reason for this as well, and it stems off of your response about going to the actual dance events. Sometimes when I'm dancing, I really need to use the toilet, but it's so hard to get to the toilets because they're at the other side of the dance floor, and you see someone that you want to dance with, or someone sees you. And I remember the second time I went to So We Kids, I decided, okay, I'm going to go. In this situation, it was I wanted to get a drink, just some water, just to keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
After I decided that I wanted to get a drink, it took me an hour to move 10 meters to my bottle. So teleportation would be extremely useful just in that situation.
You heard it here again.
Yeah.
Sharing. All right.
Open book.
Last one here for me to get through. Well, I always answer the last one. So, oh, man. Yeah, okay. Wish you had this. I'm still going to get you to answer this.
Okay.
So it says, finish this sentence. Kizomba is like, but with way more, whatever, right? So you're filling in the blank. Kizomba is like, whatever, but with way more, whatever. So I would say Kizomba is, is like heaven, but you can't, with way more what? I mean, heaven's heaven, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I can think of with this one is, sometimes I describe Kizomba sometimes as a moving meditation.
Yes.
Right? And if we talk about meditation, not many people enjoy meditating because they find it hard to do. Right? And like get fed up of it, whatever. But I would say Kizomba is like moving meditation with way more fun. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I would describe it, because you're in the moment and all that kind of stuff. So how would you answer that question, Charlie? Mr. Connection.
Okay. There's a funny answer that I have to it, which I will share the funny answer. It's funny in my mind.
Okay.
I say I like people enjoying whatever brings them joy. And I know that there's a lot of controversy between Kizomba and urban kids, but I very much enjoy with my urban kids dancing friends teasing them on how much I dislike the dance.
Okay. Okay.
But again, what brings people joy is always good.
Yeah.
So for that version of my response, I would say Kizomba is like urban kids, but with way more fun. Yeah. The other answer that comes about is Kizomba is like relationships, but with way more music. Because every single dance that you have is an opportunity for you to engage with another person and for you to understand that person, understand yourself, and how you work together within a relationship. There are so many comparisons that could be drawn between the world of love and romance and friendships that could be understood through going to a dance class. If that dance class was focused on how do you connect and make the experience enjoyable for the other person whilst also communicating what you need.
Lovely. A lovely answer to all of those questions. Charlie, we want to say thank you very much for taking your time again to spend with us here at Kizomba Conversations. It's been really, really great.
Yeah, it's been a joy.
It's been great. And we're definitely going to be having you back, because I think there's so much to talk about, so much to open up. And I'm definitely want to hear about your experiences when you come back from Angola on that trip. So looking forward to that. Bit jealous, but enjoy. Yeah.
Don't be jealous. Just be motivated. Make it happen for yourself.
Yes, no, definitely will.
Yeah.
But thank you once again. Thank you. As always, everybody, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Kizomba Conversations. Please tell us what you think of the episode. And like I always say, keep dancing, and we will see you on the dance floor. Peace.
Ciao.